and the data, particularly the market movement on the lower end of the market, would suggest that it's there's a lot of newer people in these homes. So there's a I don't disagree about addressing those who need assistance, and that it is getting expensive. And I think that as a community, we've done some things in terms of accepting certain provisions of Mass General Law at town meeting, et cetera. And I know there's a group that's trying to jumpstart the elderly taxation fund and so forth and so on. Called the Good Neighbor Fund, if I have the right name. So I agree with you. Those things need to be done. This is a across the board, broad brush approach, and we can't pick this apart and piecemeal it. So it's my personal feeling is it doesn't address the issue at hand.
Right. Just may add a couple points. It does not affect the town's tax income.
No, I understand.
It doesn't affect that. And it is a big break for the people in the smaller homes, with a very slight increase percentage-wise to the more expensive homes. And it is a way of actually helping some of these people who desperately need help. Some of them are being forced out of their home. And they're finally going to benefit from this, increased valuation, which is actually increased taxes when they sell them. But a lot of them don't want to leave the home, but they're being forced out. And this is one way of actually helping them to stay, to give them a good size decrease in their tax bill.
Thank you. Mrs. Bailey.
I just want to concur with Mr. Murphy. I wouldn't want to paint this with a broad brush. I know that many people in the smaller homes are struggling. I also see smaller homes throughout town with luxury cars parked in their driveways. So I don't think that you can paint a broad brush and say that everyone needs the help according to the value of their home. It's their income, their liquid assets that can do that. And I agree with Mr. Murphy in that, a pitch for the Good Neighbor Fund, and if you took everyone who was going to have to pay more by exemption, if they actually gave that money, donated it, and got a tax deduction for it, that's $640,000. And if they give half of that, could go to the Good Neighbor Fund, if a third of it could, we could not only help those people eligible under the Elderly and Disabled Taxation Fund, but we could go further in town to help those needed regardless of age or disability. So I think that we shouldn't go by the value of your house, of what your financial situation looks like, as much as your income and liquid assets.
It should be a needs. If I could bifurcate this, pieces and parts of this, I'd probably want to move forward with a portion of it. But the fact that it paints everything with the same brush.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, these people don't want a handout. They don't want to be adopted. They just want to be able to live in their own homes.
I understand that.
Without being, forced out of it. And there has to be some way that we can actually help them. Or you help them, because like I say, I won't be here that much longer. But I mean, there has to be these people.
Cashing in, are we?
Huh?
Cashing in, are we?
You're damn right. After 60
He
years.
wants another 38% on his value.
After 60 years, I will be forced out because I'm going to retire. And I won't be able to afford to stay here, seriously. 60 years, I gotta leave. I don't want to, but I have.
Mr. Hash.
Yeah, I think one thing, we have a real good system that basically works. We have the people that are buying these bigger houses that are paying, like the chart said, $9,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a year, getting the same services from the town that the people that have less, that are having the smaller houses, are able to go to the same schools and do the same things, have the same rubbish pickups and streets plowed and town halls and all the different things in town. So I mean, there's already a thing that the more money you have, the more the town is taken from you based on a property value, which is a simple way to relate to everybody. It's hard to take, like I said, that broad brush approach and have a lot of these people that just need a small house because they're single, but they may be making 6 figures a year, and have them qualify. I mean, son of Redstone and Viacom lives in a $300,000 ranch in Stone. How did he
I know.
qualifies for a refund? I mean, the system is already stepped so that the more you're spending in town, I think even by going there, we don't wanna discourage people from adding to their property, keeping up their properties and making them worth more, so they'll pay more taxes and be a negative type effect on growth.
Thank you. Mr. Pierce? You stole your speech?
No, just a couple of, actually, the only other thing I was gonna point out is that it seemed to be that a lot of the very small houses that sell for very short money tend to be bought more by first-time home buyers and young people. So they're more likely the ones, and there was talking, I think Chuck was mentioning that the young people probably need, help as much or more than perhaps the elderly. If you have programs for the elderly, don't really have any programs for young people, just moving into town, no programs at all. Basically, they have to stand on their own, so it's one of the, it's an observation that.
No programs from a tax relief perspective.
Right,
Just to clarify.
yeah, well, they have, first-time home buyer programs and things like that, but many of the older people bought one home, stayed there all the way. But anyway, the point I was making is that you're likely to, if you did adopt this, you're likely to impact those people on positive, but young people, it's just not.
And I agree with that, but again, this paints everything and everyone with the same brush across the entire spectrum. If I could put together
Yeah,
parts of this to an exemption that made sense for the community, that, but this just paints absolutely everything and everyone, and it impacts at every single level, and that's not addressing the issue.
well, the only real problem, the only real program that the young people have right now is called Mom and Dad.
This is under mass general law, right? And have they changed it in recent, I'm not intimately familiar with the law. Have they changed it in recent years? Have they ever talked about, adjusting this formula so that you don't have to paint with the brush across the entire spectrum, or that if you do, you can make some component of it
My knowledge has been
need-based or in between?
there haven't been any changes in this particular, in the residential exemption. There are bills out there that are in the, I'm not sure whether they've passed or they're in the process of being passed, where local communities can grant elderly people. Right now we have a clause 41D, which is an elderly exemption of $500, I'm not sure what. Okay. But there's other bills that have recently, I believe, been passed, which allow you to double that amount, or to increase the age, or decrease the age.
Yeah, and
Okay.
income levels have changed.
Or
and Mrs.
change
Bailey
the
brought
income
that up,
levels,
yeah.
but all of it is local option, there's no reimbursement from the state. on
No,
that.
I understood, but
Those things are available.
but perhaps to have this exemption be less of a broad brush, so that you can tailor it to meet the needs of the communities.
My understanding is that there are only 12 communities in the state who grant a residential exemption, and they're generally the large cities like Boston, I'm not sure about Cambridge, Boston, Cambridge.
Worcester, Springfield,
I don't,
big guy.
yeah.
Big cities, big cities and towns
Big cities.
with large